What's good, y'all? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. As always, if you could, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification button. Make sure you stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesday videos, content, shorts, all that good stuff. This is going to be a quick video. I just want to say how much of a blessing it is to know your grandparents and your great-grandparents. Even if you only knew one of each, maybe you had one set and didn't have the other, doesn't matter. If you were in that predicament, let's just say that you are extremely blessed. And one of the reasons why you're blessed to know your grandparents and great-grandparents alike is because you get a chance to understand the wisdom of your family through their eyes. You know, the history, if you will, right? Typically, grandparents and great-grandparents, especially great-grandparents, are older in age, of course, unless you have young grandparents like I would say I do, which I'll get to that in a second. But even still, you know, the time that you spend with them is amazing. I always say that grandparents typically spoil you a little bit more than your parents do. Your grandparents will probably give you what you want and so on and so forth. I know my grandparents did, especially 2 out of 4 of them for sure. But I'll start with great-grandparents, how amazing it is to be blessed to have known mine. I knew 3 out of 4 of my great-grandparents. My great-grandmother on my mom's side passed away when my mom was young, so obviously I didn't get a chance to meet her. But my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather on my dad's side, I knew them, or really my grandmother's parents, if you will, Pop and Grandma Fitzgerald. Pop Fitzgerald passed away when I was 18, while it was my freshman year in college, actually. Grandma Fitzgerald, she passed away when I was 11. And then Granddaddy, on my great-grandfather on my mom's side, he passed away when I was 16. And I built very strong relationships with them. I mean, I can remember, you know, my great-grandfather always telling me stories. My great-grandfather had a 4th grade education, and he worked for a factory for many years. Used to live in Virginia, Crew, Virginia, to be specific, and then moved up to Baltimore. My great-grandmother, she was, I'll never forget her favorite phrase, "Come over here and give me some sugar." I'm like, "Oh, Grandma Fitzgerald." But I love that lady. She was so sweet. Oh my gosh. I'm smiling just thinking about it. And Granddaddy, I loved Granddaddy. I mean, he was the, you want to talk about the quote unquote alpha male, that's who he was. He very tough, but very loving at the same time. He ain't play no games. We started acting the fool. Granddaddy didn't have to say much. He just looked at us and was like, "Hey, don't make me get my belt." We straightened up so quick. And what's crazy is my great-grandparents on my dad's side were really, they were older, of course. My great-grandmother passed away when she was 91. I'm getting my years right. Yeah. And my great-grandfather passed away when he was 98 on my dad's side. And my mom's side, my great-grandfather passed away when he was 76. So, needless to say, my great-grandfather was a young great-grandparent. I mean, because you do the math, that means I was born when my great-grandfather was 60. That is young. Most grandparents are around that age, 60, or, you know, somewhere in that ballpark. And then you have my grandparents. I had one set that passed away. I'll talk about them first. R.I.P. Pop and Grandma. Both of them passed away when I was in my 20s. Both of them were in their 70s when they passed away, funny enough. And, you know, I was spoiled rotten to death. And, you know, I've talked about them on this channel many times before. Me and Grandma had such a special connection. We had such a special bond together. And me and Pop, you know, I was like his Robin. He was my Batman, you know, definitely his sidekick. Everywhere he went, I went. And then you have my grandparents on my mom's side, my mom's parents, Nana and Gramps. Not gonna tell my grandmother's age because she's gonna kill me if she sees this video. I'm telling you, y'all ain't about to get me in trouble. But my grandparents have definitely made an impact on me in a lot of different ways as well on their side too. Nana I've known my whole life, of course. Nana ain't play no games, but Nana was so responsible for my mindset of just authentically being me and pushing myself to be a better individual always. And Gramps, I learned a lot of life lessons through his, tough life lessons that he had to experience. I didn't meet my grandfather until I was 14 years old because he really wasn't around as much. I'll get into that story another day because this is, not story time too much, but more so of an appreciation post. But my grandparents and great-grandparents are absolutely amazing. They were amazing. They are amazing. I carry a lot of their legacy, a lot of things that they all have instilled into me, life lessons, ways that I can become a better man, ways to know how to treat people with respect and dignity and honor. I definitely learned that from my parents, but they definitely instilled values into me that my parents either didn't instill, and, not saying my parents didn't instill good values. Of course they did. But, they had their own little things to instill in me as well, or enhanced what my parents did too. You know what I'm saying? So if you know your grandparents or great-grandparents and you're watching this video, tell them you love them today. Appreciate the fact that they are around. It is a blessing to have them in your circle, in your vicinity. And if you knew your grandparents or great-grandparents and maybe they're no longer here, drop a comment below saying RIP. You know what I'm saying? Because they are definitely, most certainly a blessing. And I will say this, if your grandparents or great-grandparents or both are still alive, soak as much knowledge from them and history about the family as you can, because when I tell you, I learned so much history from my grandfather about my family's the Moore family. My grandfather would say, yeah, your last name Frazier, but you're Moore. And I hold that near and dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, spend as much time as you can with them. Just enjoy those moments, because the one thing I can say is, for all my great-grandparents and even the grandparents I lost, I have no regrets, because I made sure I spent as much time as I possibly could with them. I relished in it. I mean, shoot, I remember being a kid driving to the grocery store with my great-grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And numerous times, just sitting down in the house, just talking to him, hearing stories about how he got a 4th grade education, right? Hearing my great-grandmother about how education is extremely important, and, make sure we go to college one day and make something out of ourselves. And, just so many great, wonderful things. All right? But that's where this video is going to end. This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it as always. And until next time, stay